Hello, beautiful souls. I welcome you to Fasafia. My name is Marianne, your host, and today we will dive into the personality profile of a great African spiritual teacher whose presence inspires depth, wisdom, and awakening. Stay with me as we uncover the essence behind the name Toto Sao. You are welcome, Toto Sao.
Thank you very much.
We are very grateful to have you here. Welcome once again.
Thank you.
Okay, today we want to know more about you. So, someone asked, who is Toto Sao?
Well, Toto Sao is an African spiritual teacher, a great philosopher, linguist, cosmologist, mystic, healer consultant, and above all, fan adept. So I am an fan adept. Yes, that is who I am. A very simple man. Yes.
So, what is the meaning of Toto Sao?
Well, Toto Sao is the word Toto is a dimension. The whole existence is depicted as two. It is two, a dimension, a domain of existence. And in the cosmology of our ancestors, the concept of this universe came out of a certain domain. And that domain is called two. And the present universe is also two. So somebody who acquire knowledge on these two separate distinct domains is what we call Toto. So Toto is a very spiritual high, attainment that somebody can, get to. And it's a title. So if somebody is called Toto, it's the highest name of all kinds.
Of the
Of
cosmos.
yes. So and Sao is somebody who is also in the attainment of cosmic knowledge. In the essence of the universe, our ancestors believed that the universe came from a total dark energy. And because of that total dark energy, the name Sao also appeared. So my name is Toto Sao.
Thank you very much. Thank you. When did you first realize you were spiritually gifted or called?
Well, since I was very little, there were a whole lot of stories told about me that myself I cannot capture glimpses of. But as I was growing up to a certain age, I realized that I have some spiritual and knowledge in depth, which as I was growing up to a certain age, let me just cut it short. At the age of 16, I realized that there is a cosmic awakening within my spiritual understanding. So I can pick it from the age of 16, where I finally realized that I have a certain knowledge to attain. Yes.
Was your calling something you accepted easily or you resisted it?
Well, I did not resist it because the soul was already in that harmony. So once I get a clear understanding about my life purpose, I quickly grab it and move with it because it is something the soul always yearn for. And once it came, I just grab it and then move on with it.
Okay. Okay. Did any signs or dream point you towards your this path?
Yes, there were several things that pop up when I was growing. You know, When we talk about dreams, yes, sometimes I realize that in my dream, I see a whole lot of energies, a whole lot of ancestors that come away to talk to me, to direct me on certain things. And also physical, characters also pop up too. So I went through a whole lot of, spiritual, if you may, knowledge system that was guiding me through by the ancestors.
So, with this, who confirmed your calling? Is it an elderly person or a priest or yourself?
Well, my maternal grandfather, Togbi Sofahun Dokanu, who at the time there was a little challenge when I was growing up that along the way I got sick from one hospital to the other. There wasn't any solutions. From one spiritual center to the other, no solutions. So at that time, my mother's father, he traveled to Ivory Coast to do some spiritual work for, he was a fan adept. So he went there to do spiritual work for some people, and along the way, he have to return for one or two reasons. So when he came back, he was briefed that his grandchild, you know, one or two reasons or whatever, as he left, they briefed him that he passed on, who happens to be me. So he said no, he didn't understand. So quickly he has to conduct fan divination to find out what the cause of death was. So about that time too, they sent people to my paternal home to inform them about what happened.
That you are dead.
Yes. So, and then my mother's father said no, he has to do a fan divination. And so they asked them to bring me, and then he started doing a divination. So when he did a divination, he realized that my father's father, whose fan code appeared as the main code. So he quickly realized that no, something is happening here. And when he went into the code and he mentioned my father's name, who happens to be my grandfather, Miho Sokoto Bola Pachamaragba, then the child who
Was dead.
was considered dead started crying. And he said they should. Then he prepared some one or two, spiritual things and take me through. So I can say that that was the point where I was taken through a spiritual connection at that early age. So if I can answer this correctly, the person who took me or linked me up to the cosmic order or the ancestral connection happened to be my mother's father.
That's your
So,
grandfather.
yes, my grandfather. So when my father was then in Europe, when he came back, he was briefed what happened, and then he said that, oh, okay, because then he began talking about his father told him certain things about his coming back, and if he comes back, there's gonna be certain signs that they should look up for. When once those signs are happening, he should realize that he is back, and then do some series of ceremony quickly for him. So when he came back and when my father came back and he was briefed, he quickly understood the situation and then what he can do at the time, he did it. So my father and my maternal grandfather, Tobi Sofahun Dokan, who was also one of the great Boko at the time, they helped me or ushered me into the ancestral lineage.
So that time, how old were you?
At the time when I was considered dead, about 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
I was very young at the time.
Okay, so who trained you or initiated you into this spiritual path?
Well, the ancestral linkage. When I was born at a little age, once those things happened to me, they took me through far because I was not old enough to, go through the process myself. And they did what they call at the time, and today we call kalofan. So fa alodeka. So I went through that process at that time. But when I came of age, I have to go through the system again. And at that time, my father also came back and he assisted me to one or two of my senior brothers, Rabba, Marshall Kwachiko, and Afojom Kwachiko, and Jobana Amuzu Kwachiko. So I went there and then I go through my farm initiation, and then my father continued the necessary things that he has to do to help me acquire the knowledge left behind by our family lineage. So, and then later I have to continue through to what we call Juchichi and Jololo, also true. And then here I am with the cosmic knowledge. And I want to thank all the people who helped me in one way or the other to attend to, this spiritual awakening of our ancestors.
Okay, thank you so much. Please, are there any taboo or rules you had to learn to live by it?
Yes, for sure, every woman's soul came into this existence through certain rules and regulations. And every cosmic object or body equally have its rules and regulations. So yes, I have several, not one or two or three. I have many rules and regulations that I practice, that I go through every day. My spiritual journey is all about rules and regulations. Yes. So before you can be able to attend and capture glimpses of the depth of this cosmic ancestral knowledge, it is not an easy thing. You need to go through rules and regulations. Other than that, you will not be able to go through. So it's a whole lot of.
And is it only on your side or everybody?
Well, I can speak for myself, but when I have to talk about other people, I believe once you go through fire initiation, there are rules and regulations that will be given to you. But aside that, uh, your own spiritual journey, there should be some rules and regulations governing the journey. But because I have gone through spiritual journey, my rules and regulations are different, and I don't know what other people go through aside their farm rules and regulations.
Okay, thank you so much. What personal sacrifice did you have to make for this path?
Well, the sacrifices were numerous, many. Yes, because you see, this life is a life of the survivor. And what it means is that every human being must go through a certain spiritual dimension. And going through the spiritual dimension, you need to go through one or two, challenges. And I can say for a fact that I went through a hell. Yes, I went through a hell. And for for me to be able to go through the spiritual awakening, and to add to it, the our spiritual system, or let me just put it this way, our knowledge system, because it has gotten lost somehow, there is a need for somebody to reawaken or to rekindle or uncover this knowledge, so that we can be able to quickly, vis-a-vis, bring forth the lost knowledge. So yes, I went through a hell But as to one-on-one, like my own personal life journey is also there, that I have to stop certain things in life before I can be able to attain the knowledge. So yeah, there were a whole lot of numerous things that I went through, that many of them that I cannot mention here online. So if we are to start counting or point out to many of them, I think if we start now, the following day we will not be able to finish. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Toby. Did you face any rejection from family after choosing this path?
Well, family rejection, not really. Not really, to the sense that, in every family now, there are Christians and there are people who still believe in the ancestral knowledge. I decided to pass and move on with the ancestral knowledge. There are still Christians in my family who, at the time, they will look at you somehow, always advising you that why are you still going through this satanic way and all of that. I always laugh at them because I can say for myself that they lack the understanding of ancestral teachings. Because if you truly have the understanding of your father, of your ancestor, there is no way you'll be able to say certain things to denigrate or to degrade your own identity. So I decided that to ignore all of these things and just focus on my journey, because I know what I was looking for, that I must get it. So I did not consider most of their, you know, here, most of the things that they said, I didn't consider it. I just move on. So it didn't affect me anyway. Not at all. It didn't.
Was there a time you doubted your purpose?
Not at all. It is a life purpose I came with. There is nothing, nobody, not with a material thing. Nothing can stop me from why I am in this life. I am going to do it and make sure that the African child is being fed with the cosmic knowledge. So that is me. Nothing can take this from me. It's my blood. Yes.
What is your main spiritual assignment in this life?
My spiritual assignment is to make sure that every African child is self-sufficient, is self-reliance, that we are free from the mental enslavement, that we are free from the mental emancipation. We have to connect ourselves back to our ancestors. We have to be able to get back to our local languages, our mother languages. My purpose, I just have to help everybody to know he or herself. That's all. Knowing yourself is to acquire the cosmic knowledge of your ancestors. Yes.
Who are you meant to serve?
You and everybody. I am here to help with every cosmic object. Humans, animals, plants, everything. The cosmic bodies must listen when I speak. So I am here to redirect the cosmic path, because the path the universe is taking now is actually the opposite one. The true path of the universe, we have turned our back against it and we are doing the opposite. So I am here to redirect and make sure that the whole universe is back on track to be able to move on the path of the cosmic orderliness.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. And then we have a lot of work to do
Exactly. We have.
because it won't be easy.
It won't. It won't. But if we are ready mentally, it will be very simple. Yes.
What kind of problem do people mostly come to you with?
Well, you see, today, the African child, they're only looking for their survival. They're only looking for food on the table. That is the problem they come with. And marital issues. So, but mostly they come with their life issues. Things are not getting better in their lives. These are the challenges that they are going through. So, I think the leadership of Africa must make sure that we change the narrative to help the African child so that we can be able to attain our freedom. Yes, especially making food available for the African children is the most important thing the leadership of Africa can do to help before thinking about other things.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Thank you so much. I hope my people you are enjoying this conversation. We are learning, and Toby has say a lot. So we are grateful, Toby. We are grateful.
Thank you.
And also don't forget to like, you share, then you comment. Let's discuss this at the comment section. Our
Okay.
viewers, don't forget to like, share, and follow us. Toby, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this knowledge. How do you know when a person truly needs spiritual help?
Good one. Well, when somebody needs a spiritual help, what is a spiritual? What is spiritual or spirituality that the person is in need of? That is what we should talk about. So, for you to have any issue or problem in this life and looking for spirituality to solve that problem, what our ancestors say about it is that spirituality is knowledge. So if you lack knowledge, problem will be with you. But once you attain knowledge, that means that you're going to be free from problems. So for somebody seeking spiritual help, my advice is look for knowledge because spirituality is knowledge. There is nothing spiritual. There is nothing extraordinary. Everything in this life can be is easy to understand. Every single thing. You can get the deep knowledge of everything. And looking for solution to your problem, consider looking for knowledge because knowledge is what we call spirituality. My advice is look for yourself. Looking for yourself is attaining knowledge of your existence. Looking for the rules and regulations about your birth, about your family lineage. These are the knowledge system that was used to give to birth you. So once you acquire this knowledge, you can be able to solve many problems that will come along the way. So let us all put our mind on looking for knowledge about ourselves rather than thinking that there is something spiritual somewhere that is gonna help you. So please, from today, do not think that there is something spiritual. I don't want you to be thinking that there is some magic, there is something somewhere that is going to solve your problem for you. Nothing magical solve anybody's problem before. It is only knowledge that you can use to gain to get yourself free from whatever problem that you are in. So spirituality is knowledge. Seek knowledge and ye shall be free.
Hey, so Toby, but what you are saying, If someone is into a serious problem, must the person seek for knowledge before he can treat him or herself?
Exactly. Because what can you use to treat yourself? You can't use spirituality to treat yourself. What is spirituality? I am saying spirituality is knowledge. So it's better you go and look for what? Knowledge. Because the problem that you are in, thinking spiritual, you are overthinking. What is spiritual? So everything is knowledge. If you know what is wrong with you, then the problem is solved. But once you don't know what is wrong with you, that is why you'll be looking for some help from somewhere. But if you come to me, and if it is found divination you want to do, if we get a definition done, what we can help you with is to apply the knowledge to heal you, to help you. But don't expect me to give you some magical power that you are looking for, that you think is called spirituality. I am going to give you knowledge for you to use and apply so you can solve your problem. That is what our ancestors left behind. There is nothing magical in our knowledge system.
So, then, for what you are saying, I wanted to ask, how can we balance our spiritual life with physical everyday life?
Well, what is a spiritual life and everyday life? Everyday life is our daily activities that we do. But our spiritual life happens to be the knowledge that is going to guide our everyday activities. So, if you are ready to attend knowledge, that means that your daily activities are going to be controlled. You will control them because, okay, let me just ask you who is watching us today. If you wake up from bed, what are the things that you consider before acting? You just wake up from bed, you start touching so many things, you start seeing, you start doing, you start everything, you do it without controlling yourself. That means that you are not being guided by any rules and regulation. You are not being guided by any knowledge system. You just wake up and start doing things without control. This is very bad. We have to come back to our knowledge system so that we can fall on that good rhythm that can lead us into success. Without this, I'm afraid there is no solution.
So, most people normally say life is spiritual. So, per what you are saying, spirituality just means knowledge. So, can we say life is to know or to have knowledge about yourself or to have knowledge about your existence? Can we say that?
Yes, having knowledge about yourself is having knowledge about the universe, about God. So you can, that is why you see our educational system that we have today, the European educational system that we have today, it's not helping us because it is education that you go to without knowing who you are. You are going to learn certain things that will not talk about you. But our ancestral educational system is going to teach you and give you knowledge about self-existence, about why you are in this life and your life purpose. But you see, because we lack the understanding about our own ancestral knowledge system, we are lingering around, suffering, thinking that we are rather doing something positive. But hey, look at yourself. Once you cannot control yourself, once you cannot set rules for you to work on, then there is a problem. So the only thing that can help you and myself is to go back to the very knowledge system that birthed us. That is the only solution that can help all of us.
Okay, thank you, Toby. As you were saying, you were talking, you said something about God. In our ancestral knowledge, what is the meaning of God?
Well, it's a very big question, but let me answer it. So maybe as time goes on, you can take it as a topic.
Okay,
Then we talk about it.
Thank you.
Yes. Talking about God, everything you see in this existence is God. In fact, if you are to look at the origin of the word God, you will realize that it is actually not what they want to talk about. The concept of God today is like a supreme being sitting somewhere who is watching over us, directing activities, and making sure that at the end of the day, there's going to be judgment, there's going to be that or that. Please, in our cosmology, in our knowledge system, there is nothing like that. And the word God, if you look at the English word God, they will tell you that the English word God came from the German language, ancient language that they call Germanic language, Proto-Germanic language. This is the correct one. Proto-Germanic language in the 5th or 6th century. That was when they introduced the word or the concept of God. But they said, according to them, they said that the word God originally called Guda. Guda. So why would you corrupt Guda and change it to God? Once you do that, the concept, the meaning, its function, its essence will definitely lost. So the concept of God is for us to understand. Is about you. It's about me. The concept of God is actually the concept about the sun and the moon. Because in the fan knowledge system, once we are talking about God, we are talking about the sun, we are talking about the moon. So for us to talk about God, I will be glad if we can, take it as a topic and treat so that we can break it down for our followers to clearly understand that there is nothing anywhere that is sitting somewhere going to, no, 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 but rather the sun and the moon is what our ancestors call Guda. And Guda was corrupted, and today we are calling it God. So, and every human being, in one way or the other, carry the essence of this concept that we are saying God. So, man is God. Every cosmic object, activity that we see is simply a product of Guda. So if there is, if there exists God, then it's better we talk about the sun and the moon rather than anything else. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toby. Hey, today we are enjoying ourselves. Oh. The knowledge is deep. I hope you two are enjoying too. Okay, Toby, how do ancestors guide us the living?
Well, how do our ancestors guide the living? Well, the ancestor, I am my ancestor. You are your ancestor. Your ancestor is simply you. Please do not think that your ancestors, they were dead and they are in what's the name?
Cemetery.
No, not cemetery. There is a word that can people use.
Amado.
Asamando. Don't think that your ancestors are in a world of Asamando that that you consider as a state that you cannot reach. Asamando is right there within you. So every ancestor exists within us. You are your ancestor. Therefore, if you want to capture glimpses about your ancestors of your ancient past, it's very simple. There are processes that you can go through and acquire this knowledge. So our ancestors can easily help and support us if we are ready. And if we know that we are the embodiment of our ancestors, we can quickly trigger that essence so that they can be of help. So please, from today, your ancestors are not living in hell or any faraway place, but they are part of you every day, every time.
Um,
Yes.
so our ancestors, if I can understand you clearly, you want to tell us that our ancestors live in us. They live in our DNA. Is that what you want to tell?
Yes, our ancestors are us. Why is it that I can give birth to my ancestor? If they are not me, if they don't exist within me, then how can I possibly bring them to life? So your ancestor, you see, if somebody die in a family, the person is going into the family lineage, and that family lineage happens to be the living. So those people who are living in the families, anybody who die in your family, go into the central memory of the family, which we all carry. So please do understand this.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
What do you believe in the greatest spiritual problem today?
The greatest spiritual problem is the loss of our knowledge system, is the loss of our language. The greatest among them is the language. It is the language that we can use to feed our subconscious self. It is the awakening energy of our ancient past. It is the subconscious aspect of us. And once your language is weak, is gone, you are not human anymore. So the reason why you see us not developing, the reason why you see Africa in this state of dilemma is that we have thrown away our language. The language of Africa is the knowledge foundation of Africa. We can only attain our ancient past. We can only understand our present. We can only capture and attain and grow in terms of knowledge and science and technology and civilization if we have our language intact. It is within the language lies our knowledge system, our knowledge foundation. So we can only attain or achieve that if we capture full grips of our language again. Yes.
Thank you. What do you want to be remembered for?
Me,
Yes.
well, if I want to be remembered for something, let me just put it somehow. If the African child is free from these our socio-economic problems, if the African child is freed from the foreign pressure forces that are on us, if the African child can think freely, if the African child can regain himself, his language, his cosmology, his philosophy, everything about African, once this is regained, even in my grave, I'll be so glad. Yes.
Thank you. Toto Sao, what advice will you give to someone discovering their calling?
If you are discovering your calling, or if you have the edge pushing you to go and search for yourself, look for yourself, what it means is that you have to be able to capture your true self. You see, the African knowledge system is such that looking for oneself, looking for life through it, is a system well established by the ancestors. And once we all go through that aspect of life, whatever calling you have, you surely touch yours, because it is a system that is being arranged on a redeeming frequency. And once the edge is within you to search for yourself, to attend your own knowledge, and you are on that redeeming frequency, you surely grab that aspect of life. So let us not be in search for magic. Let us not be in search for power. Let us not be in search of something that does not exist. Because today, we are leading people into a state of not knowing. We are deceiving the people. What does not exist, we say it exists, and we want to take you there. Please, the only thing you can look for is knowledge. Knowledge about yourself, knowledge about your ancestors, knowledge about the state, the community where you were born, where you are living apparently, knowledge about your country, knowledge about the cosmos. This true knowledge or aspect of life, it's the only thing that can help you free yourself. So please stop searching for things that do not exist.